Hey guys, I want to share a brief message with you about how this week's topic has just played out in my life over the last couple weeks. Just been dealing with a lot of stress at work. I think most of us, once we start jobs, even school, is can be very stressful. And learning how to manage that or understand that is very important. I've known something was off. Uh, I know myself well enough to kind of know what my warning signs are. Um, that something is bothering. I tend to eat a lot of sugary, high carbohydrate foods. I want to sleep. When I was younger, I wanted to turn to sexual activity. And I knew something was bothering me, whereas it was a difficult time pinning it down. And I think that's part of the value again of this whole idea of recognizing that emotions are feedback. But I was having a difficult time figuring out what it was that I was feeling. And so one of the tools that I turn to, and this is in the Fundamentals of Freedom book, is an emotion wheel. I find that it's helpful because I can get a approximate idea of what I'm experiencing, but then because there's so many emotions listed, it helps me to actually identify them at an even closer level. And so I knew just with what was going on at work that I was angry. There was some fear coming in that I didn't really want to acknowledge, but I knew that was there. And so I pulled out the emotion wheel, and the way it works is on the inside, there's seven core emotions. Then there's two more levels, and each one gets a little more specific, a little more granular in terms of what you're feeling. And so this morning, Sunday morning, I'm doing my reflection before Mass, going through the daily readings. And it's the gospel about the sower and the four seeds. And as I was reading, one said worldly anxieties choke out the ability of the person to bear fruit. And I really keyed in on that word anxiety. I related to that because something was bothering. And so it got me to think, well, let's practice what I preach, right? And so I pulled up my emotion wheel, and anxious is in the category of fearful. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. Something, I'm afraid of something. And what is it? And right next to the word anxious is the word weak. And I went, that's part of what I'm experiencing is I feel as though some of the stuff going on at work is weakening my ability to accomplish what I'm supposed to, my job responsibility is what I'm supposed to be doing. And no guy likes to feel weak. No guy likes to feel that he's not capable of doing what he's supposed to do. And yet that is exactly what I was feeling. And so just identifying that took a bunch of pressure. As I wrote about in this week's topic, sometimes we get stuck, and that's quote unquote stuck feeling is because we don't know how to identify what it is that we're feeling. And just by simply recognizing, oh, I'm feeling weak and incapable of doing what I'm supposed to do because of things that are out of my control, just recognizing that helped me so much. And it was really eye-opening for me. And because of that, now the stress almost immediately kind of goes out of my body. And I no longer have to look to buffer to turn to ice cream. I've been on an ice cream kick for the last 2 weeks. And it's like, why is that? What is going on? And it's like, sure, it was the stress in my body because I was afraid, because I was feeling weakened in my ability to accomplish one of my key job tasks. And so I'm going to put a picture of the emotion wheel. I'll try to find a list of emotions too that I can share with you. But I think there's a real freedom that comes from being able to have that increased language to identify our emotions. So I encourage you to do that this week. Go through those three tips that I go through in this week's lesson. Thanks, guys. God bless.